Shifting our focus overseas now, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a surprise visit to Gaza today.
For that and for all of the other day's headlines, we turn now to Stephanie Tsai in our Washington studio. Stephanie?
Thanks, Amna and Jeff. Just days ahead of his high-stakes trip to Washington next week, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu met with his IDF troops in Rafah in southern Gaza. The city had been a vital crossing point for aid into Gaza, but Israeli forces invaded Rafah in early May in their effort to further destroy Hamas's military power, driving out many of the 2 million Palestinians who had sought shelter there. Netanyahu said Israeli control of the crossing is essential for ongoing hostage negotiations.
The military pressure they are exerting right here at Hamas's throat helps us, along with the firm insistence on our just demands, to promote the hostage deal. This double pressure does not delay the deal, it promotes it.
Hours earlier in Jerusalem, Israel's far-right national security minister made a notable visit of his own. Itamar Ben-Gvir walked through the Al-Aqsa compound, sacred to both Jews and Muslims. Palestinian officials condemned the visit, calling it a provocative intrusion. It comes a day after Israeli negotiators landed in Cairo to continue work on moving peace talks forward. A Russian court says closing arguments in the trial of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich will take place tomorrow. It's a sign that the legal proceedings against the 32-year-old are moving quickly. Gershkovich faces espionage charges that his employer and the U.S. government say were drummed up. Just today, the State Department called the entire process a sham. Gershkovich has been held in Russian custody for over a year. He was arrested in March of 2023 while on a reporting trip and has pleaded not guilty. Ukrainian forces have retreated from the village of Uruzhan in the eastern Donetsk region, surrendering more frontline territory as Russian forces wage a relentless summer offensive. This as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with European leaders today in the English countryside to seek further support for his nation's defense. He called this a tough period for Ukraine and said he hopes allies will allow longer-range strikes into Russia.
The more effective our air defense is, the more helpless Putin will be. The fewer restrictions we have on the use of effective weapons, the more Russia will seek peace.
So far, NATO members have taken different positions on how Ukraine can use the weapons they've provided. The U.S., for instance, only allows American arms to be used to hit Russian targets in order to defend the city of Kharkiv. And the flow of munitions from the West has not been enough to repel Russian advances, especially in the Donetsk region. The Department of Justice has accused employees of the country's largest housing provider for unaccompanied migrant children of sexual abuse and harassment. Southwest Keys has nearly 30 facilities in Texas, Arizona, and California, with room for more than 6,000 children. In its lawsuit, the DOJ alleges severe, pervasive, and unwelcome abuse and harassment of the minors in its care. It details at least 100 reports of misconduct dating back to 2015 that included touching, soliciting nude images, and even rape. The suit says children were threatened with violence against themselves or their families if they reported the abuse. New data shows that so far, 2024 has been the world's hottest year on record. From January to June, global temperatures have soared. That's the top line you see. The other 10 lines beneath it represent the hottest year since records began. Those high temperatures have already helped fuel $15 billion weather disasters in the U.S. in 2024. And that's not counting Hurricane Beryl. On Wall Street today, stocks dropped as investors turned sour on high-flying tech stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost more than 500 points, but is still above that 40,000-point level. The Nasdaq gave back 125 points, pulling further back from recent records. The S&P 500 also ended lower on the day. And sadly, we have a few passings of note this evening. Legendary actor and comedian Bob Newhart has died. Newhart got his start as a stand-up comic in the late 1950s. He gained nationwide fame and a Grammy when his routine was captured on vinyl and released as The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart. With his deadpan delivery and everyman looks, Newhart became one of the most popular TV stars of the 70s and 80s. He fronted not one, but two shows that bore his name and engineered a finale for the ages by crossing the two stories in a famous bedroom scene, implying the second show was just a dream.
All right, Bob. What is it?
Well, I was an innkeeper in this crazy little town in Vermont.
I'm happy for you.
In his later years, Newhart appeared in movies such as Elf and Horrible Bosses and made TV appearances in such hits as The Big Bang Theory. Bob Newhart was 94 years old. Also today, veteran news anchor Lou Dobbs passed away. Dobbs was a longtime business anchor for CNN, hosting its popular Moneyline program. He left in 2009 to help Rupert Murdoch launch the Fox Business Network. He later became one of Donald Trump's most vocal supporters in the media. In a post on his social media platform, the former president called Dobbs a friend and truly incredible journalist, reporter, and talent. Lou Dobbs was 78. And finally, Bernice Johnson Reagan, a prominent civil rights activist, singer, and scholar, has died. Born and raised in Southwest Georgia, a young Reagan, there on the right, co-founded the Freedom Singers in 1962. A year later, the a cappella group was performing alongside the likes of Bob Dylan and Peter, Paul, and Mary. Her searing alto voice amplified Black liberation struggles and helped define an era of American history. Bernice Johnson Reagan was 81 years old. Amna and Jeff, back to you in Milwaukee.